Alrighty, welcome back finally to our another episode of the 12, our epic campaign of discovery and adventure across the continent of Corvair. We're finally back after a bit of hiatus, but typically we'll stream live Sundays at 6 p.m. Central here on Javelin Entertainment. And if you missed the last session, go and check it out on the channel page or by clicking the link down in the description.
Last week, Cade met up with Israel for some information on what was going on here lately. The boisterous rake actually was forthcoming, filling her in on details about the prisoner he helped escape being the true goal of their trip to Dreadhold, that many crews had eyes on the Crimson Haze, and that there were many things happening under the surface on this island ready to burst. Apparently Cade thought that a bit of a euphemism, or the infatuation of another intoxicating dance swept her up in the moment, but the two rushed off into the night together. The morning found a large conflagration, waking the other members, who rushed to aid in the firefighting and left Cade sighing and shaking her head condescendingly once more. As Boko and Roland examined the source of the flames and determined it to be some magic akin to dragonfire, Cade started to piece together the connections of a red-haired woman she had seen the night before with Iz. Roland added a few details from his previous encounters as well, and they were all able to finally connect them with the same woman that was on the pinup poster. Apparently a large beauty by the name of Scheherazade. Meanwhile, our new character, a clever assassin with a penchant for shadows, had caught sight of her next quandary on the docks, who just so happened to be with the same red-haired woman. Creda's attacks left the mark with enough lacerations to bring down a juvenile Riggleback, but the woman had disappeared in the darkness. Roland led some of the party back to where he found the injured man and followed a blood trail back to see the once rescued man with a few new holes in his back. A quick loot of the house brought some valuables and some well-hidden letters. Luckily, no one around seemed to notice their presence at the house. Cade filled in the crew of the Stormfae, and they split the party between the Azure Fox and the Morrigan for the trip to Reaver's Ridge. The feisty water nearly caused some sailors to be tossed into the rocks, but all the ships made it safely into the nestled harbor, where the tower of reconstructed shipwrecks loomed in front of them. As the massive ogre King Khan arrived and took his seat, the draw began. The Crimson Haze drew the King's Cut, and Cade sensed some foul play before the Rock brothers began to head towards the ships. The King of them all called for any other business, and Captain Stormfae brought up the issues of the sea dragons herself. But neither of the northern captains, Morrigan of the Rite of Dreadhold and Durthax Barmore of the Crimson Haze, had any true proof. As Clyde's whistling of Barmore's bastards began to draw attention, a pompous voice rang out from the crowd. Dropping his metallic mask, the prisoner from Dreadhold revealed himself to be a grandiloquent by the name of Lord Tiberius Reginald Zorg V, who spouted bombastic accusations at the regent before challenging him to a rite of coronation by combat. What is to become of each player in this short-fused powder keg? Where are the lines of ally and enemy drawn? And will this wily upstart bring down the nefarious monarch? Let's tune in and find out.
And so, as this...
How much of a shit disturber I am.
As this new figure has approached here in this moment, revealing himself to be an individual known as Tiberius Reginald Zorg V, he has called out King Khan to a rite of trial by coronation. As everyone in this room is now waiting with somewhat bated breath, perhaps, there is just a large, heavy chuckle from behind.
You come to me with this. Very well. Prepare the ring.
And at this voice, there is just suddenly a surge of activity. As many of these Kingsguard come forward and begin to shift the large table and the chairs out of the way, and an area in the center begins to be formed. Meanwhile, the Rock brothers had been heading down the stairs, and Cade and Roland, both of you had taken some interest. Are either of you following?
Sorry, where were they headed? They were heading out, right?
Yeah, they were headed out back down towards the boats almost.
They were headed out before the draw even finished, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. Cade's gonna start edging that direction.
If I remember correctly from a month and a half ago, I had basically like gestured towards the sus. I gestured at the sus, and got basically yeah, we know from one of the other crews, and so I wasn't concerned with it anymore.
Yep. Okay.
I think you rode over with me on the Pride of the Dreadhold, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
so-
think I missed the last session because the last thing I remember was like the stabbing of the dude.
That was the
Well,
first part of
he
last
got
session.
stabbed again.
Yeah. Again.
He was
We
stabbed
had one. Yes.
many
What about
times.
second stabbing?
Okay.
And then Roland stabbed Clyde in the back.
You
Okay,
stepped in
so
front of me.
realistically, we're at
Where
the
am
draw for which territory the pirates get. Some sketchy
Oh,
shit is going
okay.
down.
I remember this now. Never mind. I'm just forgetting what's happening.
We know
Alright,
we know
it's coming back
something's
now.
up because the Crimson Haze got the best spot in the draw, and something sketchy is going on.
That's it.
Yes.
My memory's coming back.
No, actually, Cade getting reassurance that like the captain and Tiago know what's going on. Cade is going to stay in a flanking position with Captain and Tiago, knowing that like if shit actually does go down, this is probably the safest place to be.
All right. As this ring is being set up, is anyone else taking any actions here?
I want to find a good spot so I can watch this Tiberius fellow get pasted.
And
Sindri will be sitting next to Cade, peacefully unaware that anything is happening.
Tiberius,
For anyone taking bets.
are you would you like to go ahead and describe your character visually and what they look like?
Of course. You all see in front of you a very large half Goliath. That Tiberius, or Tiber, is a scarred, gnarled, darkened behemoth of a man. The time in the Dreadhold has not done him well. He looks a little gaunt, a little taut, a little bruised, a little beat up. Now that his mask is off, you see numerous scars. You see a black eye that is healed many times over. But underneath it all, you see hard mountain bones. That this man, if he ends up taking over the throne of the pirate kingdoms, is going to be a fair but a very, very deliberate, stout, strong, and no nonsense kind of ruler. His eyes are fierce. They're determined. They're angry. That there's a spot of rage just sitting deep within. It's unmoving, calm demeanor, but not at ease one bit.
All right. And
Damn it, I do love an underdog. Like 15 platinum on the little one.
And the little one is indeed well above normal human height, but does seem to be small compared to this hulking, what is probably a 10 or 11 foot ogre, but who is kind of hulked over and hunched with his age. But as the ring is set, and an individual takes up with a kind of pieced together flag, and as it begins to flash through the center here, the crowd kind of forming but still giving a good wide berth. The king kind of slowly begins to lumber up to his feet on the throne, and as that flag flashes, Tiber, if you want to go ahead and roll me some initiative.
Does anyone take me up on my 10 platinum bet?
Absolutely. Where? Oh shoot, where is the new
I
turn
would
tracker?
definitely bet against you.
Well, yeah, after
Boku's
my
like bullshit.
after my visit to the House of Second Stabbing, I'm a little bit wealthier.
And DM, would it be okay for me to use that as saying that as a bardic inspiration?
Sure.
All right.
You're inspiring Tiber here?
Yes.
All right. And Joe, is that first one correct, or do you have an advantage on this?
I just had it sent to GM. I was
Okay.
just swapping that over.
I just saw the
So just
zero,
a second
and
one
I
to
was
jump
like,
there.
whoa.
Oops. Alrighty. Okay, now.
King of them all.
And as this lumbering Goliath is slowly standing up from his throne, the flag waves across, and then suddenly there's a shift, like all of the muscle across his body flexes at once, and there is just this unreal speed that begins to come out as his lumbering feet just crush across, and some of the boards actually start to crack underneath them as he closes the entire distance between these two individuals in almost a moment. And he is going to go ahead and try and do a demon rush here and try and grapple. So if you can give me an athletics, or actually you see in this moment, actually, Tiber, there's actually this brief moment where he seems to be calculating as the fight starts, and then as the flag is moving, you actually see this energy course through his body in this flex of muscle, all before he moves. And as he rushes over to you, in just a second, as that flag washes across your face, he's already there, and his arms grip around, trying to wrap around you. Go ahead and roll me a contested check against the grapple.
Is this something I can add that bardic inspiration to?
Absolutely.
What's your dice on that one? Who
D6.
said that to me?
Clyde.
All right. Thank you, Clyde. Let's see this.
The old halfling.
Yeah, the
who
old
told-
little
Yeah, the old halfling who yelled out 10 platinum on the little one about you.
To be fair, he's probably hard to see in the crowd. The disembodied voice from about knee height.
Clyde's betting on that if he loses.
All right, whenever you're ready, Joe, you can make the roll.
It shows on my end I did.
Oh, maybe mine just hasn't
You're
caught up here.
rolling to GM? No.
No,
No.
it just hasn't shown up on my end. That's all right.
Sammy,
Oh,
are you connected to everything? I think both of us being right here on the thing at once is kind of slowing it down. To me, it shows a 25, including the 4.
Okay. Well, in this moment, again, Tiber is not a weak dude, and his muscles flex in response to this, not necessarily able to get out of the way, but just forcing up against it. And there's this pulse of magical energy behind it, and yet still this hulking of an ogre grasps around him. And as he begins to crush in, just squeezing, you're going to take 18 points of bludgeoning damage. And as the squeezing begins to happen, a fist just comes out from the side as this massive maul-like attack just slams towards your face, and that is going to hit.
Oh no.
And that'll be
Athletics check finally showed up too.
yeah, it finally did. That'll be another let's see, do I have that in there? Yep. Another 12 points of slashing damage. Or no, sorry, just 10 points of slashing damage here. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, and this will be at advantage for you at the moment.
All right.
Ooh. What is...
Wait, does he have his weapon? You cut it out for a second. I'm sorry.
He does
Or
not
what
know. He has
slashed
just
me?
rushed towards you, grabbed you up in a huge bear hug, and lifted you up with one arm, and then slammed down with a fist. And as it collides in with your face, does that include the bonus of the ring?
No.
Okay. Well, check that for me, because that could make all the difference here.
Proficiency. It does, yes.
Okay. Unfortunately, in this moment, as the fist slams into your face, you just feel this dizziness and your eyes go black behind it. And you are stunned.
Oof. Rip.
And with that, as Kulberkan just spins him around and just slams 2 more fists into the back of this individual's head. We'll see if either of those 2 hit. I believe so. What's your AC currently at right now? Is it at a 19? Is that
19.
Right? 19? Yep. So both of those will hit.
Do I have a reaction?
You are stunned, so I don't believe so.
All right.
All right, so that's 9 points of bludgeoning and 8 points of bludgeoning on top of that.
All right.
Well,
What?
we'd all already be dead.
What
I've
is
did, like,
going
twice over.
on with your health bar here?
I've got HP and I've got temp from because
Oh.
I've got the 2, but I've got the 2 like
I see. Hold on.
dashes there to see what they are.
Yeah, I'm just going to move this over so that we can see that properly. There we go.
My apologies.
Nope, no worries at all. I just wanted it to show up graphically for my ease here. All right, so as this entity has rushed forward and just slammed in just this heavy opener right off the bat, and Tiber is unfortunately swirling around, unable to catch any sort of opening in this moment. Cade, you have kind of snuck over towards the door, and the Rock Brothers have disappeared down that hall. There's nowhere, they are nowhere to be seen any longer, as all attention is around this massive fight. Can you go ahead and first roll me a history check here?
Ooh, sure. Not my forte, but
And you can roll this one with advantage, actually.
okay. Let's see. History.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad tonight. Not
Yeah,
bad. Good way to start
so
tonight.
seeing this massive unleashing of the king on this poor individual, you have never seen this in person, but you have heard of a few stories of those who thought themselves ready to take on the king in his old age. And each time with the Rite of Coronation by combat, it is an attempt to take over the crown, and it is to the death. And these first 2 rounds are always done with fists before someone can grab a weapon. And you know that all of the 2 challengers who have come before, they were beaten so badly in the first 2 rounds that the fight was nearly over before they ever had a chance to grab a weapon.
Solid. Yeah, no, after I check the corridor, just a quick spot check, I'll probably, like, shift back over to Tiago and just ask him, have you ever been around for one of these fights before?
Only one. It ended.
Was it just bad?
It ended with a bloodstain on the tile, and this one seems headed in the same direction.
I do wonder what the Pride was thinking.
It might not be over yet.
Yeah, we'll see if he wakes up from the stars above his head right now.
And Cade, are you stay in place for now?
Yes, but I only have like a quarter eye on the fight and like 3/4 eyes on my surroundings.
Same.
Keep like trying to like see when the other shoe's gonna drop.
All right.
Yep.
Go ahead and give you and Roland can give me a perception check then.
Roland, did you just say same, knowing you only have one eye?
Rough, man. Rough.
Also, quick question for the DM.
Mhm.
Watching this scene unfold very one-sidedly, can I glance over to see if I could find Moranin or her first mate and see what they think of this, if they like seem concerned or not?
Sure, give me an insight check.
What was her first mate's name again?
The first mate was actually, did they? So the ones that they're standing. So you're thinking of Corwin. Yeah, so Corwin is the quartermaster, and the sailing master is, oh gosh, I gotta remind myself now, is Valaris. But neither of them are the first mate. That's actually is. But the two that you're probably thinking of are Valaris and Corwin.
Corwin's usually, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I love the sound of surprise and that really.
Yeah, is the first mate, because he kind of had to get thrown back into the Dreadhold to prove himself, didn't he? Because if I remember right, he didn't actually escape from it.
And one slight correction with the first mate is kind of the interface between the crew and the officers. They're not necessarily like it's often depicted, where they're like the highest officer underneath the captain. They are that interface between the crew and the officers.
Makes more sense. They know how much he flaps his lips, so any message they give him will get out to everybody. Gotcha.
Yep, no worries. All right, and then unfortunately, Tiber, you are stunned for this round. And as the king looks over, still having you in his grasp, you can all hear the words that he just kind of mutters.
Assuredly, some will call this cruelty, but the weak always do.
And he's going to release another round as he just kind of tosses Tiber out of the grasp and just begins to slam into him. And this is going to be 5 attacks here. So the first one will hit. The second one. Yes, you do have a reaction if you'd like to use it. Okay, good to know. All right, so as he kind of regains a bit, as these fists begin to fly towards him, Tiber pulls up this magical shield. However, not quite fast enough for the first 2 fists that come through, but it does deflect the third and the final, and so only 3 find purchase. And so it will be 11 points of slashing on the first, 12 points of bludgeoning on the third, or on the second, and 12 points of bludgeoning on the fourth. Again, 3 hit, 2 miss with that, and I do need 1 more Constitution save at advantage from you. All right, and this one you pass. Luckily now prepared for it, despite the blows hitting heavily onto you. You spin around and kind of pulled out of this grasp, now are looking at this individual, and just with your fists still, at least for now, but able to regain and take action. What would you like to do?
I just pause. I look over at him for a second and start laughing maniacally. That my first girlfriend hit harder than you. And I will force a vicious words or a cutting words or whatever, coupled with a hideous laughter on him. So I would like a wisdom save.
All right.
From him at effectively a DC 28.
Whew. All right.
Detracting 8 from his save, but yeah, essentially, yeah.
Whew. There is a heavy resistance as you try to pierce in to the skull of this entity, and you actually feel that it passes through the innate responses, and then you see one of the skulls that forms this crown has a red gemstone in the eye, and you see it flash before it dims completely, and the magic does indeed fade. And so it doesn't seem to take effect, but it did. One of the magical protections of this entity seems to have been taken out.
Very well. I continue to laugh at him, and all right. You've had your fun, your 2 swings. Is it time to pick up our spears, or shall we continue to box, old man?
Do you know how quickly you can drain a man's blood? Let me show you.
And he will kind of lift up and just kind of puts on these large skulls that kind of form over his hands to make these gauntlets. And again, will make his rush in your direction. In the meantime, let's see. Roland, or Cade rather, you're looking around and it's just lost in this chaos. So there's oohs and ahs and people backing up and shifting around to avoid the brawl as this ring is kind of shifting around the room as these two are locked and entangled in this battle. You're kind of watching and observing, but can't really catch much of where the crowd is or where individuals are, as it's shifting too much and there's too much going on to really latch on to anything that stands out other than this massive battle that kind of comes in front of you and you have to step out of the way a little bit. For Roland, you can see that individuals of the Crimson Haze have slowly been one by one kind of seeping out in this encounter. Most of them are no longer here. There's only a few stragglers that remain. Boko, as you've been watching this, there's an immense kind of just, especially from Corwin and Valaris, who are kind of standing still and trying their best not to show any signs of reaction to this. But you can see as this first round of attacks just heavily got slammed into Tiber, that they kind of pulsed and reflex, just kind of wincing at each one, but trying to stay calm. Moranin kind of cold as stone. She didn't give any sign one way or the other. But you can see, even in this moment, as this initial round has concluded, and the brawl has kind of finished, is actually the one who kind of kicks up this large spear and tosses it over to Tiber, who kind of catches it and spins it. And there's an ever so slight smile on Corwin's face, and you can see a wide smile now on Israel's face. It seems that they were kind of trying to hope that he made it through the initial round, and now they're hoping for a much more even fight.
I'm just gonna tap Jasira on the shoulder and have her follow my gaze to the Moranin, Valaris, and Corwin, and just whisper to her, I think we should be ready. And go back to watching the fight.
She'll just nod in acknowledgement.
All right. Anyone else taking any other actions on the side?
I really want to know what the haze is doing.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah. No, this type of over testosterone laden display of toxicity he's very used to it, and it bores him. And so he doesn't care what happens up here. Leaders change. Nothing for the working people ever actually does. So he's gonna go follow the haze. He wants to know what's happening in the dark alley.
All right. Since this is kind of trying to catch up to them, or rather, are you trying to follow some of the leaders who left early and catch up to them, or are you following some of the crew who you've seen kind of duck out after them?
I am following the crew, keeping my distance, and trying to see where they're collecting, and I want an overwatch position with my sniper rifle.
Okay, then give me a stealth check. We'll just say for this one.
Okay. And I will whisper a prayer of guidance over myself as I sneak out. There we are. Of course. My first roll of the night is a 3.
All right. And so as you kind of begin to step out, you head down in these corridors, kind of doing your best to follow after the group of crew here. And I will say that Boko and Cade, you both do kind of, especially trying to keep track of the individuals in your party, you do see Roland kind of make his way out of this room down one of the halls. Alrighty. And
I also want that scroll back because apparently I missed something about it.
Okay. And with that, back on the battle, again, as you've kind of taunted him, Tiber, the king with these now bone-like gauntlets does look towards you.
Enough brawling, maggot. It's time to die.
And we'll do another kind of dash kind of in your direction and take these swipes at you. And so the first one, let's see, these are... Yeah, we'll
Steeling himself against the attacks, Tiber mutters something, calling upon the resolve of the mountains and of his ancestors, and has given himself resistance to damage this round.
Alrighty. And is that for the round or is that for an attack?
It's for the set of attacks, so like a character's turn coming at him.
Is this the mountain bones from Goliath?
Yeah, let's see this.
I think that's when you take damage, you gain resistance to the damage, I believe.
Okay, to the damage. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have to wait to be hit. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. I just wanted to make sure that I knew what you were talking about there.
Yeah, I'm assuming I'm getting hit. If for some reason he misses, go for it. I guess I don't consume it. But yeah.
All right. Oh, okay. As the first 3 swings just swing towards you, and just the gawking, and now with that spear in your hand, you have this bit of confidence. They seem to just fly over. All 3 of them miss, and just this frustration comes out again, and he'll try with the last 2 here. And with this, just in that frustration, swings down towards you, and you just take that moment, this intelligence of waiting and biding for your time. You step back just enough to throw him slightly off balance, and just kind of trying to recover causes him to lose that last attack as well. All 4 plus the final one ended up missing, and it is your turn.
Oh, that's all you've got, you drunken old man. How about you drown? And I will again take a D8 off of his save, and I would like a intelligence save now.
All right.
For a phantasmal force that he is covered in a black sphere of water.
Okay.
Just around his head that he is now drowning. DC 27 intelligence save, please.
Goodness, those D8s are doing you nice. Okay. Let's see what we got here.
So yeah, essentially blinded, deafened, and drowning is what he thinks he's doing.
All right. And let's see.
Well, that's just mean.
I don't think so. That's just a Nope. Yeah. With this, you said 27, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. With this, there is just this illusory orb, and you can see as he reaches up, and you can now hear this choking sound in his throat. And let's see if he. No, I think we're gonna go and take that moment. All right. Any other actions in the room, or is everyone enthralled in this back and forth here?
Clyde's pretty enthralled. He is, at ringside.
Okay.
Just like moving people's knees apart.
Exactly. He's got his box.
Cade, can you go ahead and roll me another perception check? And we'll get to Roland. So Roland, as you're walking down this path, kind of creeping around, following after, they kind of cut around a curve, and you look down, and the hall that they went down is empty. You kind of look around and don't see any sign of them.
Mm.
Okay.
Much better.
Oh gosh.
Damn.
She can taste where they went.
Yeah, no, I mean...
My spidey senses are tingling.
What was that, Roland?
Always empty, then there's no one to see him, so he'll keep going. Like, he wants to get outside and have a view of the ships.
All right. As you start heading down from the edge, these two figures that you were following kind of step back out and just, well, what we got here? Someone who should mind his own business. Why don't you head back up and watch the king splatter? Well, a nice, attractive young man. And the two of them just kind of smile.
Is there a reason why I shouldn't be going back to my ship?
Well, you just look a little sneaky about it, is all.
Nice young men tend to end in, well, shall we say collateral damage?
This hall, at least for now, is under personal protection of the Crimson Haze. Why don't you just go on your way, so there's no trouble.
I mean, and he'll back up a little bit with his hands up, just but that is what I was trying to do. You're saying that I can't.
Yeah, there's plenty of other ways. You can take the long way around the other side. Just this smile with like half his teeth crooked or missing.
Would you care to give me instructions as to what the long way around is? This is the only way in and out that I know.
Well, then I guess you're stuck here. Like I said, just go up and enjoy the show. You wouldn't want to get on a bad side. You can see both of them. Kind of the one in the back has his hand already on his cutlass. The other one kind of has his arms crossed.
Glancing back and forth, sizing both of them up and taking a memory of their faces.
Okay. Give me an insight check.
And after an awkward period of time, I'll turn around and head back.
Okay.
Awkward.
Okay. So first what you notice is that these two individuals are very clearly acting above their abilities. They have a very overinflated ego, as if they have all the confidence in the world. You think in a fair fight you could probably take both of them, but you're not sure where other things stand and who else might come along and come across you. But you do...
If I'm in a fair fight, my tactics suck. I'm going to go get tactics.
But yes, you do understand that there is that kind of air of confidence about them. And you do kind of catch some very... I don't know. I'm just going to give a rough description of them. If my image can load here. Maybe. There we go. But yeah, so these two individuals, one of them has like this blood red hair that is tied back in these thick dreadlocks, all kind of pulled together, and seems to just be wearing gauntlets. You don't see any sign of a weapon on him, and he's shirtless and just bound in these rags and this type of almost like a battle skirt, but has these tattoos across portions of his head and arms, and just this mask across his face. The other one next to him, who's kind of behind, kind of holding a hand on a cutlass, is kind of hunched over, almost animalistic like, this bald head and this ridged mohawk, and his eyes are pupilless, and his arms are just either dyed or tattooed or literally covered in blood, but look like they're up to the elbow in blood. And he doesn't seem to be wearing any armor of any kind. Neither of these individuals do.
Okay.
But yeah, as you turn and begin to head back up towards the room, we also had the perception from Cade. And Cade, looking around and scanning, things have now started to stabilize, as the massive hulking ogre who had been throwing his weight around has now, for the moment, been stationary. And you can see in response to this, that very subtly, there are a few things happening. You can see people watching each other across, less so on the battle, but you watch these intense stares, like there is this chess game happening on top of the battle itself. And you can see multiple individuals involved, including Captain Stormfae, who's like looking and observing over, and you can see a very slight hand signal that she gives to Tiago, who begins moving through the crowd as soon as the spell is cast. Looking over on the other side, you see one of the Kingsguard in this blue trench coat again. He doesn't have any weapons, but is just ever so slightly focused on the battle. And you can see this wavering in the magic on this illusion that is surrounding the king. It seems that he's trying to do something to affect it. And very so quietly, Tiago is just there in a moment and passes him by, and the figure just kind of slumps against the side of the wall and slides down the wall.
Ooh, okay. Cade's intrigued, but doesn't say anything. But with Tiago having left the captain's side, Cade is just stepped slightly closer and is just flanking the captain behind her and on the left.
All right. And with this, with the king of the maw struggling against this illusion, he now just swings out wildly with these fists. And we'll still try and connect with Tiber.
Can I shield again? Is he at disadvantage, not able to see or hear me?
Yes, he is.
Shield
and
again, just to be safe.
Okay. The first one just swings wildly, and one of the people in the crowd was too close and just gets clipped, and his head just pops clean off of his shoulders, ripped apart, and just this gore splatters across the wall in the crowd.
Thank goodness
exactly
Clyde
what I was talking about.
Thank goodness Clyde is short. Clyde's like, oh. I hope that guy
Exactly what I was
was
talking
my
about.
bet.
Collateral damage. This is why Roland did not want to be in that room.
And as the fists just swing out, just this blaze in all directions, none of them seem to get anywhere close to you, Tiber, and you get a bit of confidence and kind of prepare yourself to attack, and then one of them just cuts into your side, and I do need you to make me another Constitution saving throw, still at advantage. And you will take 11 points. Oh, sorry. You'll take 20 points of bludgeoning damage on this one. And 17, I think, is just enough to save.
No.
And so with that, you get slammed into your side, but aren't quite knocked out of it. This is concentration? No, it's not.
It should be.
Okay, it's not in the spell. Okay, so then I need a saving throw from you with the DC 10. Yeah, nice and easy. Okay, and Tiber, it is your turn. The King of the Maw is kind of trapped in this illusion for this moment, but still looks hardy and healthy, not a scratch on him.
All right, to the captains assembled here, are you ready to meet your new king? He said he's ready to die, and it's time to kill him. And let's go ahead and force him a hold person. Again, a DC 20 wisdom save.
Alrighty.
With a -4, so DC 24.
Okay, and this will drop the illusion, yeah?
If it casts. Yeah.
Well, it does cast. And so you've pulled your concentration to that.
Yep. Yeah. No, like if it's not counterspelled, if it casts.
It does. I don't think. Yeah. Wow. Just terrible rolls on his side. As once again you meet this heavy wall of resistance, but it seems to be diverted with the illusion just long enough that as these spells shift, you watch as it latches over this individual and seems to course him together. And I need you to go ahead and make me an initiative check. Oh my gosh. Whoo! You got an 18 on this? The number to beat was 17. And so continue on.
All right. So just my regular turn?
If you have anything else to go.
Yeah. I take a hold of the spear and I jump headlong into the air. I point the spear down at him. You guys start to hear a thunderous cacophony as the wings of this spear beat and this drum echoes through. And with action surge, I will take my swings on him.
All right.
What?
And just for relevance, this is 30 feet up that you can get. He's pretty close to you, so you won't get much more than that, but about 30 feet for relevance.
All right.
And as the first one goes in, you do see this response again from one of the individuals. There is just kind of this twisting, and the first one will not count as a critical. However, the second one still will. So roll the first one as a normal attack, the second one as a critical. And again, Cade, watching, you see one of these other Kingsguard who's kind of moving in response to this one. This one more evident, but still quiet. And immediately there is another figure. You see the orange horns and the golden garb of Captain Mac Calibran in response to this, who immediately kind of pulls the individual over, and you see something happening before they kind of just disappear into the crowd.
All right. So there is his critical damage, and then the second is just regular damage.
Okay, so 11 on the first hit?
No, other way around.
So the first one got
a regular.
Was a regular.
The second one, yeah, I clicked him in the wrong order.
Okay, so 11 points on the normal hit, which happens first.
Yep.
Okay, cool,
Yep.
cool. And then the 21 plus 16 and 24 plus 4. All right, and go ahead and give me a oh, whoop, I messed that up. Okay, go ahead and give me 1d100. And what is the dragoon damage? What type is that?
It is. Let me pop that up for you. Dragoon's set of damage was a bunch of things. It was deep wounds. It was.
No, what types of damage? I don't care where it came from. I just need to know what type.
Piercing. It's all
Okay,
magic piercing.
cool. Gotcha. And so you see just the innate rage of this individual is resisting it, and you see something similar to your own, where in response to this, his muscles kind of contract, and the strength within begins to give him additional
resistance from his first hit.
Not resistance, but halves the damage after that. And so that will be, what is that? 37 and 28, 50, 45, 65,
half to 32.
Half to 32, half to 16.
He has double resistance.
Yeah, he's got the rage and one of these features that he's burning now.
Yep. Okay.
All right, so 16 onto that. Okay.
And is he? He's impaled. Yep, onto HP.
Onto HP,
And
correct.
And he is impaled.
And do you have any addition to that roll? The D100 roll?
Yeah, I added it plus 10.
Oh, okay. So that just goes down.
Alright, so a creature is now restrained when I crit a large or smaller. I could drag them if I wanted. He can use his action to escape and contested athletics check. But he has no action right now because he is, And I can still attack things that I've impaled, right?
Yep.
Alright. So yeah, he is now both impaled and restrained as well as paralyzed with hold person.
Yeah, unfortunately the roll on the crit was a little low, and so all you get is a minor nick onto him, but 1 additional damage onto the health points. So, not nothing. And with that, again, Cade watching this kind of transpire, there is these other actions that are happening around the board, and they seem to be kind of counteracting themselves to be about neutral. But each of these pieces begins to get removed off of the board as this fight goes on. Roland, as you have kind of made your way back up towards the battle, you're just about to reach back up to that point. So you're almost back from the hall here. Kind of extending out, not necessarily the normal 6 seconds, but a little bit longer as this fight is progressing.
I am looking for the closest person. I think I was with Boko and Clyde.
I think so.
Or just Boko.
Boko and Jasira are in the same place.
Boko and Jasira. Yeah, I'm gonna grab them because I think
It's
if I
hard to
remember
get to
correctly,
the center of everything.
I think if I
Watching
remember
the
correctly,
bloodshed.
Cade is on the other side of the fight,
Yep,
right?
correct.
Okay, yeah. So it's gonna take her longer to get to me than. Yeah, so I'm gonna pop up to Boko and Jasira.
All right, not a problem. Alrighty. Oh, that is a good point. Yeah, no, you're right, Joe. I forgot the paralysis. Actually, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Let me go to the. Sorry, I just gotta check into that.
The 28 as the confirming of the crit.
So this is an auto crit from the paralysis, I think.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh, damn, yeah.
So I don't think it has to crit, but I do need to check. Oh no, that's not one. Okay, cool. So it's just normal. Let me make sure. Sorry, I should have had these pulled up beforehand. I knew these were going to be coming up.
How dare you make a single mistake after
I know, right? Okay. So there's an advantage.
You had a month and a half to prep. Like, I really...
That's the change that we need to look at. Okay, so if we look at the new... Added. Okay, sorry. That's what I had to clarify. I just was misreading my information because the incapacitated trait had changed because the paralyzed adds incapacitated. But it added new things. It didn't change that they no longer have the action. So I just wanted to confirm that. Cool. So yeah, it would absolutely be 32 on that rather than the 16, which is good. So another.
Do it again.
Okay, cool. He is still standing though, which is the crazy part. Alrighty. And so with the
he is incapacitated and restrained as well, right?
Correct.
and paralyzed.
Yep.
We're playing stack all the conditions, boys.
But
By yourself.
as it does hit his turn, he is able to save against the paralysis, and so he is still impaled and restrained, but does kind of shake himself out of the effects holding him in place. And Tiber, as he just kind of growls out, now no kind of words of taunting, but seeing now you as a formidable enemy, one to be focused on, it is your turn once more.
I don't think you should move for this. It hurts a lot more if you move, and I will cast it again. So yeah, another DC 20 plus.
Wow.
8, so DC 28.
Oh my god.
These rolls are in your favor today, which is good. But wow. Yeah, and he rolled a 25 to save, but that is not enough. And so once again, these just magical chains, as this entity, Tiber, begins to kind of just twist, and these runes kind of activate on the hilt and wrap around. And Clyde, I'd like you to actually go ahead and make me a history check at this point.
Okay.
And we'll also say you have advantage due to some other stuff going on with you.
All right. A 22.
Okay. You have heard stories of entities that belong to a faction known as the Order of the Dragon Slayers, who were specifically built to take down dragons, to restrain their strengths, to mitigate their massive amounts of armor and health, and to keep them from flying and moving away. And they had these massive weapons that were just extravagant and well built, and you can see all in the way that this entity fights and the weapons that he uses. There's a lot of similarities back to these old stories, but this order is something that was gone ages ago, like back when the War of the Dragons occurred, when Galifar himself was still alive. These people aren't supposed to be around anymore. My last 9 silver. All right. But yeah, with this, as the whole person does latch again, Roland, you do come up and find Boko and Jasira kind of on the edge here, watching this play out.
Clyde is going to be overcome, and he's going to pull out a little dagger for the new king, and he's going to use his effect, his Herald of Legend, so that all of our new king's attacks are going to have a plus. My D6.
Oh my gosh.
Can I go ahead and get Can I go ahead and get a initiative check from you?
Sure.
Maybe I'll get to reattach Clyde's head.
I rolled a 1. I rolled a 1. Oh wait, I can re-roll that.
Yes,
I'm a halfling.
Let's see. Let's see the. Okay, it still didn't matter. All right. So as you are yelling out for the new king, before you can even get an effect out, one of these blue cloaked individuals, these Kingsguard, this kind of dark-skinned individual with his hair pulled back and this thick black beard, kind of rushes up and just grabs a mouth over your hand and arm and attempts to restrain you. I need you to give me an athletics or acrobatics check.
I'll say, oh no,
grabs the mouth.
It's gonna
over your
get
hand.
bit. It's acrobatics or definitely
Large
acrobatics.
nom.
A 4? I
No.
7.
Yeah, so as this individual just grabs you behind, before you can even cast your effect, you are kind of pulled over to the side. You're not supposed to interfere with this, and it's just kind of dragging you over for now.
Clyde's gonna get thrown again.
Yeah.
Again, there's other things. Other people are watching and paying attention to this fight, one way or the other. Okay.
Can I
real
use
quick,
my bonus action?
real quick before we get to did you want to use a bonus action on your last turn?
I did.
Okay,
Yep.
go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were all done with that.
No, I have one last trick up my sleeve.
All right.
I pull the spear out, and while he's sitting there frozen, I take a set of steps back, and I run forward full speed, let the spear go, and I will toss a weapon that has the thrown property, and I will impale him to the wall behind us.
Okay, go ahead and make the
One
attack.
big attack.
Give me that damage. Let's see. Go ahead and roll me the D100.
And do I add more to it this time?
You'll add 20 to it because he does have a crit already. Woohoo!
That's a bad one.
I mean, I still did a lot of damage to his real people HP. I might have gotten him. I don't know.
Well, and that's not even necessarily the one that he gets because he's got stuff that adjusts it as well. Scrolling. Okay. These are on a paralyzed entity, so they constantly crit if he's paralyzed. So because he was able to land the whole person both times, they've been auto crits. So Tiber, as you throw this spear towards this individual, how do you want to do this?
As I had said, I'm impaling him through the wall. I am taking the spear. You hear just this boom of thunder as the spear goes through him, through his chair, and sticks him into the wall. And I will again just start maniacally laughing. That you said you wanted to die, old man. Fucking die!
And as this spear just collides in, it hits the kind of shoulder and face, and you see as it rips bone and flesh and kind of peels half of the face, shattering some of the bones off of this wyvern-like skull that this entity has atop its head. And as he's kind of impaled into the wall, again, one of both the individuals gets kind of crushed underneath him and is kind of broken and crumpled there. And
Clyde
you see
was dragged away from moments ago.
yeah. And you see in this moment, as there is just a hint of life that returns to him, with the a magical effect that many of you can see as this death ward, and just coughing up blood, he just looks over at Tiber.
You think this will change anything? Even now, they are burning. Poor Crez. It's too late. They'll have you surrounded.
And just begins to lift up onto that, and is going to try and reach up towards where he has this large necklace around him. And for Tiber, I do need you to make me a initiative check. As you are watching, as he's fighting against this, whatever effect has kind of come over him seems to have almost not quite fully dispelled, but mitigated. And he's just fighting through pure will of force against the paralysis, trying to move up towards his neck, but it's slow. And the paralysis is keeping him mostly at bay. And you're quickly and easily able to move over towards the individual if you would like to take any action to finish him or silence him before he can activate this.
I would. I will pull the spear out and jam into his two crevices of his eye sockets with my 2 strikes.
All right. And just quickly pulling it out, spinning, and just the heavy head just gets crushed and broken as blood pulls against the back of the wall and pours down the wood. And the king sets into his final resting place. However, the aura around, as all of these crews have heard the words come out of this king, there's a bit of this stunned silence, this moment where no one is quite sure what is true and begins to try to start to find information, going towards their seers of a sort, looking to try and cast some type of magic to see and confirm on the state of Port Crez, as this king seemed to throw out some serious allegations, and all of a sudden these jeers and noises begin to come from the crews as they look on, and faces of horror from these different seers who are looking over. Roland, you have just reached Boko and Jasira and kind of grasped them on the arm as this chaos starts to erupt, as all of these individuals are looking at each other, kind of uncertain of what to do.
Let's go.
Tiber,
pulling.
Yep.
Tiber tries to address the chaos in the room. As you're all likely aware, I am now the king, and the old king was honest in his last breath. He has been duplicitous. We are all in danger. There's the whole point that I took command was to save us. If you direct your attention, some of the captains can explain exactly what's going on and can direct where you all need to be. Go ahead and listen to them. They're in charge until this crisis is over. We will reconvene and try this again next week.
Can you give me a persuasion check at advantage?
I can, and any check below 10 counts as 10 here.
Okay, good to know.
Well,
man,
below 10.
If there wasn't such a thing as plot armor built in behind the scenes, it's certainly built into the programming. Holy smokes.
Plot did not have to be much more.
So as this rousing is kind of called, and different parts of the crew begin to call out, "What about Port Crez? The ships are coming! They're starting to surround us!" And all of these words start to move out. And you see as Captain Stormfae actually steps up to the side. But before she can address everyone, Roland again has come up to Jasira and Boko and has said, "Let's go." What are you guys doing in response here?
One last look at Captain Morrigan before I go with Roland.
And Jasira said she'd follow Boko, so.
Give me one last insight check, Boko.
Boko is a little shocked at the usurper who now stands
Yeah,
above the dead king.
As you look over, you see Valaris and Corwin standing there, but there is no Morrigan. But you do see Clyde, who's now getting handfuls of silver from these different individuals.
I think Clyde just made bank.
And Clyde, go ahead and roll me 3d100.
Oh, roll high, baby.
Come on.
You get 118 silver.
Use your inspiration on that 10.
Inspiration.
Yeah, you get 118 silver pieces from the various people who had made bets against you and this individual.
Against my 10 platinum bet.
It was 15 platinum.
Was it platinum?
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
platinum.
Yeah, he was saying platinum.
Yeah,
Clyde-
you
Sorry,
started at
who
15
said
platinum, dropped it to 10.
Okay, well then there are significantly less people who could actually afford that. Go ahead and roll me a d12 in that case.
Okay.
Okay, so you get 20 platinum, so non-negligible. It's still more overall, considerably more.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Looking up in the world.
But yeah, as you guys are all moving forward, again, Roland has come up and grasped Jasira and Boko, and you three have kind of twisted and turned and are going away from this crowd as they all turn to look as Captain Stormfae is kind of stepping up. For Cade and Sindri, what are the two of you doing in response to this massive change of events here?
Cade is stopped still. Like, the gears are turning, and she's like, huh, I think I'm suddenly realizing why the captain wanted me nowhere near any of this shit at this moment in time. She's gonna try and like pick Tiago out of the crowd and head towards him, and kind of stay towards the outskirts, but she's not leaving.
Give me another perception check.
Okay. Well, I don't know if it's as good as last time.
And you can go ahead and roll this at advantage since you've been keeping track of Tiago.
Okay. Not great.
Okay. You look around and you actually don't see Tiago. There's a couple members of the Stormfae, but not many. What you also don't see is any of the Kingsguard.
Yeah. Okay. That speaks more than anything else does on not being able to find Tiago, but Cade will tap Sindri on the shoulder, and just say, "Best if we're around friendly people," and see if he'll come with her towards the other members of the Stormfae.
And I'll assume that Sindri follows unless he has something else.
Nicholas, you're on mute! Still can't hear you! Hold on, he's coming towards my computer.
That would be how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, this is ridiculous. My phone says I'm not muted.
I kind of heard that.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright. Okay. That was kind of a disappointing fight. I thought it would be more exciting.
Clyde is still losing his shit.
Cool. Is there anything else going on? Everyone seems very shocked about that.
Well, considering the city that we were just in is burning to the ground, I say some shit has gone down.
Yeah, but it's a city of pirates. Is that not like a thing?
No, Port Crez does not burn to the ground on a regular basis.
Is it normally more rainy?
Arson. We're talking about arson.
Okay. Ooh, so it'll be a more exciting fight? Let's go.
And Cade, as you and Sindri walk over to the couple of Stormfae that are here off to the side, you can see that Captain Azalea has moved up towards the front, and is kind of motioning. Akari, if you could. My new liege, we have information. And as she points back, one of the Stormfae is actually projecting some sort of information up on this wall for everyone to see now. We have information now of what is occurring. Port Crez is under siege and well and truly in dire straits. And you can see the whole of Port Crez. There are fires and broken buildings as cannon fire shatters through these places and crumples it to the ground. And only pieces of this are visible in different sections, as this is not a wider scope but more focused. But you can see that the city itself is under massive attack. We believe that this is the work of what we are calling the Sea Dragons. Massive ships under the command of an individual known as Riga. This Riga has orchestrated these massive behemoths of ships, and Port Crez is not their only target. Even now, and the image slightly shifts under another coordination between these two individuals, and you now see the spikes of Reaver's Ridge. And there are ships that seem to be coming, 3 of them. And at first they seem like normal ships, but as it turns to shift and adjust, focusing on Reaver's Ridge, on the initial gateway itself, but you're able to see now that these 3 ships have taken up a defensive formation and are massive behemoths of ships, just dwarfing the same spires that seem to look enormous from the ships that you rode in here on. And they have rows and rows of gun decks on them. And everyone in response to this is kind of taking in this news that has kind of somewhat hit a few, but now hits everyone in this wave. And Captain Stormfae now turns back towards Tiber. My new liege, we would like to take action against these atrocities, but we will need to act as one. We must go through the spikes of the rage and try and surprise them from their flanks. It will be dangerous, but it is the only course of action. Meanwhile, our other activity must be assured. The few captains that know of this, we must meet and decide who is to take on that other path while the battle ensues. And she looks to Tiber for affirmation.
You all have heard the Fleet Admiral speak. We act her words.
And immediately, Tiber, along with Captain Stormfae and Mac Calibran of the Golden Corsairs, begin to step in. A few other captains as well. However, a couple are noticeably absent. The first being Durthax Barmore of the Crimson Haze, who has slipped out in the chaos. The other being the Grey Maiden, the captain of the Cloud Reavers themselves. And so those two don't seem to be present, but the other captains kind of step into this. Cade, are you trying to enter this as well, or are you staying on the outside?
Yeah, no, Cade's gonna try and slip in on the back end of this.
All right, as you kind of slip in with the few members of the Stormfae that are there, we'll get to that in a moment. As you were there, we also haven't heard from Creda. Creda, in this chaos, as this has all been encompassing, what are you doing, and how have you been responding?
I would have just been in sight of my captain, kind of on standby, waiting for an assignment. If she's still there.
All right. Yeah, and as she kind of begins to go in towards the now sectioned off area of this captain's meeting, she kind of looks at you. Creda, check the boats. I don't like what's going on. Something else might be afoot. Make sure that nothing else is happening there.
That's what I'm doing then.
All right. And so, Clyde, that just leaves you in the middle as you're kind of being dumped these few pouches of platinum. What are you doing in response to all of this information? Ooh. Oh, we lost Adam. I'll get him when he comes back. Okay. So Boko, Roland, and Jasir, you are heading down this hall, down this path. You're headed back towards where those two individuals stood off against you, Roland?
Yep. And just kind of very briefly explaining as we're walking, saying, the Crimson Haze are up to something. They left some lookouts, and I could take them myself, but backup is nice.
Boko will look to Roland.
Keep an eye out, don't waste your energy.
If they stand in our way, we can take them back to the Dreadhold. I'm sure they will have questions that... We will have questions that can be answered.
I'm not taking them anywhere. And he draws both daggers.
Bloodless looks good on you.
It's an old friend. And he runs forward, and just for the added factor of confusion, he'll morph his face into one of them.
It's me!
Lawlessly.
And I think we're doing all this hopefully under the absolute fucking chaos that was the king falling. And
yeah, this is all happening kind of right after that. And there's actually multiple people kind of heading off in different directions in the chaos. Not all of them are staying in to watch the performance or the debrief, whatever you want to call it. But as you guys have kind of gone off this side.
Unless there's any reason not to.
Sorry, Sindri, what was that?
Oh, well, that's great.
Very far away.
Yeah, we can barely hear you guys.
Yeah, sorry. I was assuming my mic was still broken. I was asking Colleen a question.
Oh, okay. No worries.
Mike.
Okay, so as the three of you are moving down this hall, there's kind of footsteps, and you turn the corner, and there's these two individuals that've been kind of talking, and the one with the long red dreadlocks and this mask across his face kind of turns around. Who else is coming down here? What
I
the?
look like the other one.
What the hell?
Yeah, because I can't see under the mask, so I can't know what that looks like. So I look like the other one.
Yeah, so Roland now looks like this kind of animalistic bald with this thin mohawk with these red-like arms, and this individual is just kind of looking back and forth, and is just like, what in the hell's? And is there anything that you guys are doing to kick this off?
I just called out, he's an imposter! Kill him!
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh, come on.
Can I just in the moment of running at them with daggers out and yelling kill him, can I make it intimidation instead of persuasion?
Yeah, I'll let that fly.
Okay, thank you. That's a difference of 6. It's not gonna matter, but it's not gonna matter.
Oh my god! He knows his friend. They've been best mates for years. He knows his smell, and your mimicry can't mask that or can't mimic that scent.
It's more just the defensive nature. These have just been kind of looking and conversing, and there's a familiarity here that as soon as you start rushing forward, it's defensive more than actually listening to what you say. And immediately these gauntlets kind of throw down, and these long spikes emerge out of them from both hands. And I need for you guys to roll initiative here, but I need to give you guys some tokens.
Somewhere.
We're gonna do this theater of the mind, but we'll have some tokens to put in here.
Boko is gonna flash a very dangerous look to Jasira and then look to Roland and say, "If one of them alive, I have an idea."
Okay.
So you can bring him back.
I want his soul for my crystal.
Practice
After I ask him.
I don't think
Questions, of course.
I don't think I need to do anything. I think Jasira knows what you're thinking. Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, terrible.
Oh, don't make me go first.
You can always hold.
I know.
No. Excessive violence.
Let me get that on the tracker.
I'll change the one with the weird name first. What kind of fucking name is Ezra?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, Ezra should go first. Not that Goddardam. Who cares about
Why is
Goddard?
Gale on this map?
Because this is just
come to haunt me.
this is just all the tokens.
Still out there with his half health.
Yep, I just needed
What do
something
you
where you
need?
guys had your tokens on it so you could roll initiative. We're gonna do this theater of the mind because I didn't know this was gonna happen. I could have prepared for it, but I chose to prepare for the fight that didn't end up mattering, but it's fine. That's how it goes. So Jasira, you are off first as Roland is rushing forward with the daggers. You see this individual pull out these knife-like blades that just shoot out from the gauntlets on his arm. The other one hasn't quite responded yet and is kind of looking at Roland really confused as he's seen himself. But you're up first. What are you doing?
Oh man. So how far apart are we distance-wise?
You've got
them.
maybe like 30, 40 feet to close here.
Okay.
It's enough
Not
within
terrible.
an action to, or within your movement, you can get there and close that gap. Like this is a pretty tight corridors.
Right. Okay. Nothing crazy. And is Roland clearly going for Mr. Disordy gauntlets?
He tried to sell the deception and
And it didn't go.
He's charging the
Gotcha.
other one.
The one that you didn't look like.
No, I think he's attacking the one he does look like. Or am I confused?
Yeah. I said he's an imposter, kill him, and I'm charging him.
Okay.
Oh,
So
so you
I'm attacking
look
the one I
like the
look
bald guy, not the one
Yeah.
with the dreads. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Sorry, I gotta get this clear. Okay, then
So
we'll go
bonk
after.
the dreads.
Yeah, we're gonna go beat up dreads.
All right.
Like, what the fuck's happening right now?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, let's see.
Are we gonna have trouble stacking up in this corridor? Do we have limited space?
No, it's not that tight. It's
Okay.
like a curve, which is why you're so close to them, because it's like right around the bend. Mostly so that they could get the jump on people, typically. But yeah, it's wide enough that you won't have a problem moving past each other.
All right, and I think we'll just do. Methinks we should do a flurry of blows. Methinks. I think that sounds fun.
If he doesn't die in the first 2 hits.
I mean, that's fair. It might be really easy, but I'm planning ahead. Never.
On his
hurt.
ass.
So let's see. Pew! Or punch. Pew! This is not good. Flurry of blows. Pew!
Oh no.
Does one of those work?
Apparently I should have cast Bless.
No, none
That's
of
one
those
of the guys.
unfortunately hit. As you come forward, just swinging with punches, and this individual just dodges out of the way, just weaving each of them. And anything else from you, Jasira?
Well, shit.
Well, I was hoping to actually do something. Trying to see really quick.
You were
if there's
softening
anything
him
else.
up so that Roland can come in.
Yeah, I was sizing this guy up.
You loosened it for me.
I loosened it for him.
His head.
Yeah, I don't see anything else I can do, so I think that's the turn.
All right. Well, then you are going to take the first attack as he responds with one of these blades, just stabs into you, and you're going to take 9 points of piercing damage. The other carves around, and you're going to take 8 points of piercing damage.
Really?
This is all where all my good rolls were for the boss fight.
But Austin, you could have rolled.
Are you sure this dude ain't the true king?
Maybe,
Let me see. So what was that? That would be 15. Am I crazy?
9 and 8? No.
Nope.
17.
17.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, hold on, math is hard. Ow.
And then Roland, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm going to rush around to the other side of him to get, and just like, as he's focusing on dodging punches, see if I can slip behind him and just use the fact that I look like his friend to make him, I don't know, just kind of like the disconnect of he's used to having his friend behind him, but then it's also me to get flanking.
Yeah, do you want to roll deception on that?
I really don't.
I'll give you.
You can't do worse.
As you're trying to do this, I'll give you deception or performance. Your choice.
Who said you can't do worse? I will prove to you otherwise.
I'm looking forward to the 2 nat ones.
Oh my gosh. It's just
You're not used to this guy's face. You're
it's an aura thing.
Quick glance.
You try and move around him, and for the moment, he kind of backs up against the wall in a defensive way between both of you. Not quite buying into this with the nature of the initial attack. Seems to have him again more defensive against all fronts for now. So no advantage, but you can still continue on with your turn.
Okay, dagger.
Come on, daggers.
There we go.
Rock one up on the hit counter for melee. And I do get sneak attack because
There's an ally.
there's an ally. Is that actually?
That me.
Yep.
That me.
Yes, it is. Okay, because we leveled up. Yes, this is the first combat since we leveled up. Okay.
Wait, we leveled up?
You leveled up?
To 4.
Oh. No, I thought I'd been on 4.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been on Ford for a
Cool.
very long time. This is
Okay.
just the first time I've hit since we've been.
Oh, okay, cool. I mean, I just want to double check. I would
Damn, none of
maybe
us
hit him if
confirmed
I was
quite
supposed to be
like
level
that.
5, but you know.
So yeah, that's 17 piercing.
Okay.
Just like running up behind him and then.
Yeah,
in the back.
just right into the back along the neck. There's just this blood that pours out, and he just kind of subs and just kind of falls down to his knees. He is what is it? Currently incapacitated, I believe, with no stamina.
Oh, he's not exactly good. I don't
Not
really know if I wanna
dead,
waste a full
dead,
gem
but
on him.
really actively dying.
And he doesn't deserve a soul gem. He was too weak. Even if I didn't.
These guys weren't supposed to be scary.
And then just after like stabbing him with one knife, I'm just gonna swing out with the other while the knife is still in like the back of his neck.
All right,
Swing
go
out
for
with
it.
The other for his friend.
Yeah, they are close
Who it looked
enough.
like.
Is this considered a ranged attack?
No, it's
No,
not.
it is melee, so I hit.
I can do that.
Oh my god. David.
All right, give me the damage.
Do I need to confirm the crit?
Is this a non? Oh, it is. Yes, you do.
Okay.
Sorry, I forget that there's now ones that don't. All you need to do is hit for this, right? I think so.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, so the crit is not confirmed. This
No.
is just regular damage.
Luckily, this guy is not wearing armor, and that's all you needed. He just hasn't had
Oh
an
my
action to do
God.
anything. 10
Oh
is his
my
AC right now.
Oh my god.
This
Oh,
was the guy
that
who's
should not
not wearing any armor.
So it's 2 damage to HP. I forgot to uncheck sneak attack. I don't get it again, and it's 2 HP and not doubled.
Okay, go ahead and roll me 1d100.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
That's not bad.
He does not have any changes, so that is a cardiac injury. As you stab into his chest, he suddenly shudders and he gains a level of exhaustion.
Just
You gave him a heart attack.
drops. Bam.
Just myself is scary. All right, and that will bring us to Boko, as there's just blood pooling now across this individual's chest, who went from like really tough to now just like just struggling with his own heart giving out.
Yeah, and just like after boom, drop, boom, he's scared. I just rip both knives out with the blood splatter and then spin him around and look at the guy who's still standing and just go,
Oh god.
Boko's gonna rush past both Jasira and Roland and plant one foot, whip out with the razor leg, and as the vines come off of it and show off that nice shiny blade, he swings that towards the figure, but right at the last second, it's gonna just unnaturally rotate, hitting him with the flat of the blade. He's gonna try to non-lethally take him out.
Okay.
Get him.
you have one that is already down. But, oh, oops.
You were expecting
Roland,
him
what did
to
you do
be.
my die?
Is there anything else that you're doing?
If he's, yeah, I'll go with my offhand. Then I'm going to, in that same motion, draw the dagger, and
Literally
as
missed it
as
by
the leg
one.
goes wide, just follow it up down low with the dagger just straight up into
If
him.
Roland
Okay.
can do it, so can I.
Do it.
He's already made a weak point.
This is the one that's not supposed to hit.
Oh my god.
So as you kind of go out to where the individual was, this individual is terrified now and is already kind of in the process of fleeing, and it just slams into the wall, but you just kind of carve up into his leg. Go ahead and roll me the damage on that as well.
Boko is going to pull the dagger out with the blood on it, brush the blood across his tongue, and he's going to spend 2 hit dice to empower this attack.
Oh my god. Do it.
And you can do that after the hit? Yeah?
This one I have to hit in order for it
Okay.
to work.
Whew.
And so we'll do
Oh my god.
for 15. So, well, I only do half of my hit dice damage. So it'll only be 7 plus 4. It'll be 11 damage.
11 damage.
This guy just gets ripped as this magic just purple and black surge through and kind of rip open the back of the calf and up and break the Achilles and just shatter on his knee, and he's just kind of crawling and is still barely up, but is just all but knocked unconscious as he's barely clinging on as it's his turn. With this, he is nearly unmoving and is gonna try and just uses his action to disengage and is just crawling along the floor trying to get away. Jasira, it's back to you.
Off the bridge.
Yeah, Boko looks at Jasira and Roland and goes, "That one is mine."
Boko, I didn't even hit the other one. Can I try to kick him? You can keep him, but can I kick him?
You can keep him, but can I kick him?
He goes, "Okay, but you must carry him."
Okay, this is the part. This is the group in the party that's not allowed to be alone together.
You don't know what's going on. This only took 12 seconds.
I know. Clyde's still counting his platinum.
Jasira, what are you doing?
Jasira's just like weighing her options real quick. Yeah, I'll carry. She's gonna kick him in the face.
All right, give me your attack roll.
Oh,
God damn it! Please let me kick
He's
him.
prone, so you've got advantage. But yeah, 15 will hit.
Well, that's cool. So we're gonna
He-
give him for 4.
He
Do I
hit-
need to kick him for real?
No, he is all of 1 stamina point. You just smack him in his head and he just drops down unmoving. He is barely even clinging onto life at this point. Actually, yeah, he is barely alive.
For story purposes, where did she get cut? Like from the slash she's...
From Roland's, it came right into his ribs. Boko went up the calf and like annihilated the whole back of the leg.
No, on Jasira, because she's like... She's got
Oh,
the valleys.
Jasira got the arm blade into it was mostly just kind of superficial damage, just kind of cuts across the arms, things that'll heal relatively easily. Yeah.
Well, because that is my point, is that she's going to use her healing on herself. So she'll just kind of wipe over the scratches and heal it.
All right.
She'll spend a key to do that.
Nice. All right, and that's a roll of the martial arts die plus wisdom.
Which I think is already added. I don't know, maybe not. Okay. Actually, no, that's wrong.
If you just roll the damage, it should equal the same amount.
Yeah, so do that.
So 7 points of healing.
plus 2. Or do I have the whiz?
Oh, you're right. It added dex, not whiz.
So
Mobby.
6.
So 6. Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, Roland.
That works.
It's over to you. As there are two weak
with
enemies.
both of them down, I just look over at Boko and go, "Which one do you want?"
Boko just points to one that Jasira's picking up.
While still staring Boko dead in the eye, I stab the other one.
Yeah, just splatter of red, and he is gone. Jasira.
Wipe the daggers off, stow them, face back to mine, and keep going down the hallway.
All right. And
Yeah,
Boko.
I wanna see if Jasira can lift it.
Jasira, give me a give me an athletics check here.
Swole.
Dang. Yeah.
Take them both.
Just lifting up the body in your arms, and he's incredibly weak. Blood is just kind of pouring out as he's on death's door at this
he's
moment.
getting lighter.
Is he actively dying?
He is actively dying right now. Yes.
Fuck.
He's not dead, but he is actively dying.
Stuff some dirt in the wounds.
Boko's gonna reach into his pouch and pull out a thing of herbs, crunch them up in his mouth really quick, put them on the end of his finger, and just jam them into one of the holes. And he's gonna try to stabilize this guy. To keep him from actively bleeding.
If you don't want him actively dying.
You don't get to die yet.
So what are you casting, Boko?
I'll see if I can stop him dying from just a medicine check before I I actually spend anything on him.
Go ahead and give me the medicine check then.
Ah, balls.
You just.
I realize.
Actually, want him alive.
I want to ask him questions.
If fine, and I'll just like slap on top of the head for the night.
There you go.
And just as he was about to expire, gets enough that like seals the blood enough and kind of or not necessarily cauterizes, but staunches the flow of blood from the leg. And he is still absolutely unconscious, but is barely clinging on to life.
Beautiful.
I will let him die longly, yes.
And Boko, Jasira is just rushing on behind as Roland is kind of moving down this pathway as well.
Prestidigitate some of the blood away so it's not super obvious where we went.
And as you're kind of
Besides
cleaning
the
up,
body.
yeah.
Jasira was taking both.
Oh no. Jasira can like hold him on her back, like, okay, friend,
There's
Okay,
two
fair.
of you guys. Each of you grab a leg and drag.
We that's a good point. We can dump the body somewhere
Why
else.
just Jasira?
Okay,
Yeah, we
so
don't want it to be
Jasira
super obvious.
is lifting one up and rushing along. Roland and Boko grab the leg of the other as Boko is kind of cleaning up. You guys are dragging by the feet, and right at that time, Creda just walks around and sees the bodies being dragged behind. Creda, do you have any response to this? Or...
Ooh.
Oh, how much
Messy.
disapproval.
Just looking up and like seeing her and like the brief moment of panic followed by then recognition followed by a longer moment of panic. Just like, let's be honest, you've seen me at worse. Are you going to help or not?
Well, your aim was better this time.
It was melee.
So yeah, you guys begin pulling these along the hall. In the meantime, Clyde, as you've been counting your coin, these groups have been forming up, trying to talk, trying to discuss as officers are trying to keep calm. And Cade and Sindri have kind of ducked into this captain's meeting inside as you pull inside the doors of where the king's chamber is. There is a massive hall of gold and jewels and gemstones. Not a whole lot of room for individuals here in this space. But Cade, as you look around, there is just tons of this gold and chests of all the various spoils that have been portioned off for the king over his reign. And along the back wall are just dozens and dozens of skulls and bones just arranged in almost this structural display in the back. And as all the captains and a few other officers have kind of pulled in here, you see about a dozen bodies of Kingsguard just kind of slumped in a pile. And Tiago, as well as a couple members of other crews, are just kind of standing in there as well. As this group kind of pulls together, you can see that Tiber up front is kind of flanked on either side by Morrigan and by Captain Stormfae. The two of them kind of begin discussing as all of the captains begin to put their input on the plan that is to come. And they decide or kind of are discussing about how they should go about trying to fight these sea dragons, which are currently setting up a barricade around Reaver's Ridge. And they talk about trying to go through the dangerous portions of the ridge itself to come around on the flanks, but are also kind of discussing in here that they have a few captains who they've talked with, and they have another individual that can help them by the name of Arenemy, who is actually a Triton. And from one of the nearby islands. She is a princess, and they need someone to take her up to where this realm of creatures that they call Tamargons exist, to try and convince them to join and aid them. And so as they're kind of discussing this and discussing who should go, it's actually Captain Stormfae that volunteers to take on this special assignment, kind of linking it to how the Azure Fox is the fastest ship and has the best likelihood of getting there and back in time with reinforcements to help in this battle. If they can kind of hold off or hold at bay the siege, or fight back some of these storm dragons. And they also talk about how they need to look for other alternatives of help, and want to send out a ship to the shore, to the mainland, to get other assistance. And it's eventually decided that Morrigan and the Pride of Dreadhold will take on this. And so these two ships will kind of head in separate directions on the back end of the ridge up towards the north side, while the rest of the ships confront the sea dragons on the south side through the teeth of the maw themselves. As you kind of sitting and listening to all of this, it's being directed again by the captains and by Tiber himself. Is there anything that you are doing in this time, or just kind of taking in all of this information?
Taking in the information. Is everyone sufficiently distracted if I'm like leaning against a wall that happens to be next to a gem? I might pocket a gem.
All right, let's see. Oh, you get a ruby.
Perfect.
And then the entire room turns and looks.
Yeah.
There,
no, Roland isn't there.
all of them are focused intensely around this conversation, and this is a dire conversation. This seems, Cade, just based off of your pure passive insight, you can tell that this is faster than they had expected this to happen. And even though things are going well with the king dying, things are still bad in general. And this is a fight that they're hoping to buy time for at best.
Okay. Yeah, no, Cade's feeling the tension, and it's just like, holy shit, you know, the status quo that I've known my entire life seems to be crumbling around me, but right now I'm at the mercy of basically other people, but, you know, it's the captain's capable hands, so I'm just gonna wait for orders.
All right, and as you're kind of thinking this again, this conversation happens very fast as they know they need to get back to their crews, and immediately just making decisions and going with it, talking through strategy, they begin to step out. And Tiber kind of leading this charge again. Throughout this time, there have been medics kind of sealing up some of his wounds. His entire face that is bludgeoned and beaten in is starting to be repaired through magic, as they're trying to get him back into a functional order. And as they kind of step out, all of the captains begin to shout orders to their various crews, ordering everyone back to the boats and preparing for battle, grabbing what they can. And as it closes up behind them, you see that, again, Tiber and most of these captains are headed out, but you see as Captain Stormfae, Tiago, as well as Morrigan and Corwin are kind of towards the back. Captain Stormfae kind of pulls you off and turns towards you. Well, seems that we are a bit out of sorts. We need to get you all out of here. I will be heading towards the north, but our trip will be incredibly dangerous. Morrigan and the Pride will be headed towards the coast, headed towards the mainland. It's where you had said you had wanted to go. I would encourage you all to go with them. Right now is not the time to... I don't even know. Anywhere that we go, if we go into the jaws of this attack, or if we head north to try and help, it's all a suicide mission at this point, to be honest. And she looks at you for some sort of response or indication on where you're leading.
Cade's like frozen for a second, and like she's looking at the captain, she's looking at like the captain of the Pride, and she's looking down at Sindri of like, well, I promised him I would get him to land, Oh, shit. Sorry, I like felt something wet on my arm and didn't realize it was my own blood.
What?
Wait,
Well.
what?
Okay,
It's
a couple
fine.
more questions.
You can't go silent after that either.
And there's a level of barbarian for Colleen.
It's fine, it was just a little scratch. This is merely a flesh wound.
But anyway, in this time, Clyde, you've also kind of seen this happen and have come up to catch these two, as you don't know where the rest of your group has disappeared off to.
Come on with my money. Hey, the fight was great. About to go.
I want to go with you. Know that. And I'm looking down at Sindri, and just like, I think I have other obligations though to fulfill.
I understand. To be honest, I'm relieved. I don't think that Morannin's journey will be easy, but I hope that it will be safer than ours. Our fight will be long, but we will not go down easily, and I hope that we will not go down at all. Keep that amulet around your neck and you'll be able to find us once this is all over. Good luck, Cascade.
Okay.
And
I'll find you again, don't worry.
with as much of a caring gesture as is possible, you sense this kind of almost awkwardness where a hug would be appropriate from a typical figure like this, but there is none that comes, and it's just kind of a clasp on the arm as she moves by you. Tiago, on the other hand, kind of wraps you around in a heavy hug, and looks you up and down. Listen, try not to worry too much about us. We'll see you again, little fishy. And just with a smile, kind of runs after the captain.
Yeah, Cade it's a sad smile, cause like, she wasn't expecting to see them again so soon, and then now it's under like dire circumstances that we're all leaving, but, she kind of just shakes her head and then looks towards the captain of the Pride. Well, looks down at Sindri first and is like, well, Sindri, I'm gonna get you to land. It'll be under a little bit, more exigent circumstances than I thought, but we'll get you there. And then I'll look towards the captain of the Pride. What are your orders, Captain?
Let's all get to the ship. We have work to do. And she turns, and with Corwin and Valaris now at her side, begins to move down, now grabbing other members of the Pride who have been kind of waiting, all joining and heading down back towards their ship, readying their equipment. And for the most part, there haven't been many members of the Pride in this room. Most of them have stayed down by the ship, but almost all of the crew actually left. And in this... Sorry, Clyde, did you have some?
Is the old king's body still in this room?
Oh, absolutely. Nobody, there are bigger things on everyone's mind. Nobody has even looked at him.
No, Clyde wants to loot.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me an investigation check.
Are you the only one still in that room?
Probably one of the
Counting his money
few.
and then looks up and sees more money.
Everyone's gone. Well,
as Cade runs out, I mean, you definitely could have done this before that conversation happened, but Cade would usher you out with the rest of them and, like, tell you to grab a handful on the way out.
Well, and it's not the stuff inside anymore. He's on the body itself. Because Clyde was on the outside.
Outside the room.
So
I
Clyde...
was watching the fight, so I saw that this guy had some real cool gauntlets and whatever else.
Sorry, I thought you were in the treasure room.
No. Clyde's looking to loot steal right here.
Yeah, the treasure has been...
The Pirate King's crown, guys. That would be a phenomenal way to further the plot.
The treasure has been locked up. The crown itself is multiple wyvern skulls. So good luck with Clyde moving that. And
it's
even
a skirt for Clyde.
even the gauntlets themselves are massive, elongated skulls with like these jagged teeth of some sort of beast. Probably too large and really not don't seem to be very magical on initial glance. They just seem to be a way of amplifying his physical strikes. However, Clyde, you did see that flash of red in the fight, and looking up at one of the skulls on the crown, there is a red gem, and you kind of reach up and pull it forward, and it has this kind of latent humming just very softly in your hand.
Ooh, yes. I pocket that and go after Cade.
All right, and as the three of you kind of rush after those of the Pride, Roland, Boko, Jasira, and Creda, as you are dragging these bodies down the hall, what are you guys doing?
Most of the Pride has already left, right?
So the Pride kind of went in one direction. You guys are down on another. So the Crimson Haze kind of snuck out through this like backdoor corridor. And so they're down on one side, whereas the Pride has kind of gone down the main entrance out towards the ships.
I'm trying to like get sight of the next person.
Are you trying to stow the bodies or move them, or are you just kind of dragging them behind you?
I'm out ahead. I
Okay.
don't care about it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Boko's the one who's interested in organic matter for his craft. I dropped them. I wanted them to drop and stay where they dropped.
Okay, so
Why did you say it like that? I'm offended.
But yeah, no,
Boko's
I'm out ahead.
connoisseur of dead bodies.
I'm scouting ahead and I'm scouting ahead and seeing if I can catch the next set of guards, or like what the hell is going on with the Crimson Haze. And that's trying to stay careful, but also very definitely staying ahead of the people going, oh, sorry, they're along the.
So it's Roland out in front, Boko kind of lagging behind carrying a body, and Jasira just lunging forward with a body that she's holding as well. Creda, where are you at in that line?
Probably up ahead as much as possible, because
Up by Roland?
I also don't know why we're taking dead bodies.
And Boko, did you have something there?
I don't want to step in the blood.
So I'll be.
Hold up. Boko, what were you saying?
How high is the area where we all are? Is it up above? So we would be looking down on the ships, or is it?
It's a tower, so you guys are winding your ways down. Winding your way down.
Is there any way just like to jump off the edge?
It's a building, so there's walls, but there's windows. If you want to try and jump out a window.
We can.
How many stories do we got here?
You've got a body just pushing your fall.
The first window, Boko just opens it up, and does it open?
Yeah, I mean it's not like a shuttered window. It's like an opening.
Oh, can I see the Pride of Dreadhold from?
No, this is on the backside. It looks out towards the water.
Yeah, Boko just lets out a little whistle to get Roland and Creda's attention and gestures towards the window. No. Boko's yes. Why?
Just an explanation. You'll go like walking up to the door, just okay. What did you? It's like 6 stories up.
You have.
Yeah. Boko is going to pull a vial off his barrier, uncork it, and spirits are going to rush out and surround all of them. He's going to cast Featherfall on everybody and jump out the window.
So just as this is open, these spirits rush out, and you watch Boko jump off. And are all the rest of you going and just trusting these spirits? Yeah. Okay, Jasira hops out as well. Roland?
Jasira throws the body at first and then follows the body.
So to be clear, one of them is still alive.
Yeah.
So the corpse takes full.
Oh goodness. I think that's my audio that's crashing.
If Roland fall right between Boko and the corpse. Okay, word. I'll say that as well.
Alrighty, so we have Creda. Are you also following them out the window as you watch Boko, Jasira, and Roland all hop out?
It's gonna work for everyone. I do have slow fall as a backup, but all that's kind of ruined. That's gonna freak her out, just going on stuff while that process is. As she's falling, she is decontemplating how disturbing that was.
All right, so as all of you head out the window, just one right after the other, popping out, you all kind of cast the feather, or Boko cast the feather fall, and these spirits rush around and kind of lift you up and elevate you before they disperse, and you slowly step onto the ground below. And you find yourselves on this kind of rocky outcrop. There's not a whole lot of space around the edge of this, and it's kind of half rock, half broken debris of wood. But you can see a ship nestled back here. Not too far away, maybe a couple 100 feet.
Does the ship have any markings, or is it just a rowboat?
No, it is a large ship. And as you kind of glance for it for a moment, you can see that it does have large red sails that are being unbound in this moment.
Perfect. Does anybody know Fireball? I'm just kidding. Boko's just gonna look over to the red stain on the rocks, and if there are any coin purses or anything amongst the wreckage, he's just gonna cut them off and pocket them.
Wreckage? That was a person!
Was
Now
person.
it's just a pile of organic matter that is useless even for Boko.
Give me an investigation check here.
Brought that body just to mutilate it.
I didn't want anybody finding it and chasing us down.
Give me an investigation check.
Far less likely.
Now he just got drunk and fell.
It was all part of the plan.
Is this the body of the one that you were dragging, or the body that Jasira dropped?
No, this is the one that I was dragging. This is the dead one.
Okay. Well, I mean, the other one's dead too now.
Still alive.
He's a red stain now. There are no more knife holes.
Wait, hold on. 5. Oh, you do have 5. Okay. So he gets the feather fall too. He's still alive, so he still counts as a creature. Okay, red stain. You see a couple of red dreadlocks with some skull fragments. You see one of the gauntlets, who's kind of got the spike sticking out, but's kind of cracked off to the side. You do find, for some reason, this pouch that has slammed into the ground and it has a tear up it, but all the money is still inside. You're not sure how much. But you find pieces of body and pieces of clothing, but that's about it.
Are any of these
how much
fragments
money?
of
He's
skull
about to get
usable?
infinitely richer.
Depends on what you want to use them for. There's pieces somewhere from like dust up to maybe $50 size.
Nope.
This was a heavy fall.
Bag that was a dude.
It was over feet. That was pretty nuts.
All right. What are you guys doing now as you see this ship?
Do we recognize red sails?
Yeah, the red sails are indicative of the Red Ruin, the ship of the Crimson Haze.
We don't want to be here.
No, we're just gonna grab Roland's collar and make our way towards the
Actually, with that 24 investigation check, because you came out of a window in the weirdest sense, while you're looking for pieces of skull fragments, you actually find torn up into pieces, but you find a couple of the larger pieces, what looks to be the remnants of this pinup poster that has been torn up, and there is about what might have been more, but you find about 3 large pieces of it. And Boko, as you look at it, there's enough. There's kind of a face piece, a chest piece, and kind of a title piece.
There we go. We're good.
But on the back, you see that there's actually now some sort of map or inscriptions or writing. You don't see much, but there are pieces of this.
the map, everything, and let's make a break for the ride because Just homes.
Just here's good to keep calling still living sack of potatoes.
They can go for a bit, scope up, and trying to get the aid of an optic, try to investigate.
Make holes in the ship.
I'll miss the ship. I'm trying to look.
You're right. It's not as big as
Aim for the ship and hit the captain.
Okay.
And
No,
Creda's just headed back to her ship.
I'm trying to find basically anyone on that ship who doesn't have red hair and try and get a picture of their face.
All right.
See if I can have some knowledge of people they are cahooting with.
Yeah. Okay. So if I get this straight, so most of you guys are headed back towards the main harbor where all of the other ships are. And Roland, as you're headed that direction, you're trying to get a gaze on anyone on the deck of the Red Ruin.
Yeah, we jumped out the window. Boko is pulling at him. He's just like, and then pulls rifle off the back and is looking through the optic. And
okay,
I'll use that. I mean, using the power of the optic isn't really gonna.
Well, it
range,
will shift from perception to investigation, though. I'll let you have that change with the optic.
That would be fantastic.
The world's highest caliber telescope.
Boko's gonna keep running because he knows Roland is sneakier than he is, so he's just gonna get a head start and go with the zero.
I'm staying back to scout. I want to know what's going on that ship because they were being sus.
And Jasira knows she's muscle, so she'll just get out of there. It's fine.
Carry your bag of potatoes.
Yeah, the bag of potatoes.
All right. So, we're gonna we'll quickly wrap up with this or wrap up this portion with that. Roland, as you're scanning the deck, you see multiple individuals. There is a massive hulking man with bald grain skin, just scars all over it, that has this ring of skulls around his neck and this massive axe that he's holding. There is a woman. There's a woman with this red dress and this red hair that just kind of stands up on end and almost seems to be smoldering. You kind of see sitting on the side this this shorter figure with a cloak of black and just this long blade resting up on his shoulder. And as you kind of scan over, you also see this two figures kind of on the back looking back at the shore. One of them is got this intricate mask with like these spikes that pulls up and this bright, it almost looks like a mane of red hair out the back and this heavy black fur along the shoulders. And you see circles of some sort of runic inscription on a necklace there. You can only see about the top portion, but you see this curled glaive or spear on its back. And then standing next to them, you see the bright white pelt on the cloak of Eve with the shaved side of their head. And as they're looking back, you see as they actually look directly at you and just give a slight wave as the ship starts to make its way out into the waters.
How far away is this?
A couple hundred feet. Maybe we'll say 250.
What?
Let me check a range on an. 160, 610. So it'd be disadvantage.
I believe.
Does your scope give you anything? Does that affect the shot?
Range.
Okay.
I don't think.
I couldn't remember what it did actually, off the top of my head anyway.
It's an infrared scope. It gives me detect thoughts.
I knew that, but I wasn't sure if it gave any bonuses on the to hit or anything.
Increased by 10 feet.
Ah. That's where the 610 came from. I was wondering. I thought that sounded weird.
What's the worst that could happen? You're gonna miss anyways.
They fire back.
Yeah, I'm
That's
gonna.
true. That is
like,
very true.
Just at the wave. That isn't practical.
You've been so cool already tonight. How you couldn't ruin it?
So they're taking off. They're leaving what they think are guards behind, right?
Are you still wearing the
They're
guardsman's
leaving
face?
sacrifices behind.
Yeah.
They left their 2 weakest members to try and scare people off, but ultimately to die.
Well,
yeah, no, at the
potatoes
wave,
might survive.
There's no reason for him to fire. He knows he can't get a kill at that range. So at the wave, he will just rise to his feet, wave back, turn and walk away.
All right. And the Schultz, as you've been waiting patiently on the ships, kind of with the watching over the Fox and the Morrigan, you watch as a group, just groups and groups of pirates begin to rush towards their ships and get on board and prepare themselves to depart. And you see those of the Pride kind of moving in your direction. You see Sindri and Cade following with Clyde as well as they kind of come towards the Morrigan. You have no idea of any of the stuff that has happened, which is probably in and out of character a little bit. Do you have any responses? All these people are rushing out in mass.
I'm just going to say much up. I'm going to optimistically assume that absolutely nothing bad happened and everything went according to plan.
Long live the new king!
Oh.
Bunch of money!
All right, I must say I think I'm already worried. Honestly, the fact that he's a jolly soul right now is probably the most terrifying of all.
Clyde had a good night. Everyone else had a great night. Good night.
Schultz, it's time to go.
All right, when it worked. You can explain it whatever way it is. How fast do we need to get out of here?
We should have been going about...
No.
Rats. Oh, well. Never. Top. I'll go and start whatever I do to get everybody going.
You missed a great chance to sell them steam.
I have a feeling, based on what I've already heard, I need my potential customers to be alive, Sindri.
They were all encapsulated with the scene. You could have ran in. It would have been great. The fight was pretty boring anyways. It was really one-sided. I'm sure they would have thought it was more interesting.
Guys, this is not the time. We're being surrounded.
We should probably leave, and you can tell me on the way.
Gallows humor.
Sindri begins telling you, but detailing it about like the types of rocks and stone he saw on the way there and how the building was constructed, and like 10 seconds describing what happened with the fight.
Clyde will explain in detail what happened, especially how he made 20 platinum off of these suckers.
Oh, that's a good point. How much money did I find in that sack of gold?
3 copper.
That's so much more than, well, 3 copper. I mean, I have 9 silver.
22 gold and 18 silver.
Oh, damn! Just that silver.
They're just chocolate gold coins and not real money.
Hey, that might be worth even more. Chocolate's expensive.
I don't know if we want to expose Boko to chocolate. He's quite obsessive.
Alrighty. And so Roland, Boko, Jasira, and Creda, kind of all coming around. You do see as Cade, Clyde, Sindri, and Theshalter loading up on the Morrigan. For the 3 of you in there, I'm assuming you're headed towards the Morrigan. Creda, you said you're headed towards your ship?
That was my assignment.
All right. Are you giving any bid farewell, or are you guys just headed your ways in this strange interaction that has just taken place?
These people are odd, but they seem generally well-meaning. I'll wish them good luck.
Roland
Hope
will
your
reach
ship's
out a
intact.
hand to shake yours and just say, Good fortune to you as well. And as he shakes your hand, we'll cast guidance.
Huh.
You have 1 minute.
Go run fast. Yeah, that's not gonna do too much here.
Then you poke her and go, do something.
Yeah.
She throws the dagger, gets another nat 20.
Alrighty. So with that, the ships begin to push off in different directions. Most of them gearing up for battle and beginning to head south. 2 ships begin to head north. The Pride and the Azure Fox kind of parallel to each other as they head up towards the tip of the Reaver's Ridge, if you will. And for Cade, but for others, is there anything that you guys are doing before these 2 ships begin to part ways?
Oh, no, for... Okay, good. Sorry, hold on. Nicholas was like right next to me with his phone. I'm like, I'm hearing myself so many times. No, Cade is very quiet. This is not how she had all expected this to go, but she's got her eyeglass out and is trying to like look at the fox and kind of keep an eye on it, and also look for incoming enemies. Just a little frazzled, not exactly sure how this all came crashing down or what precisely to do at this moment.
Indeed. So as you kind of let all of this hit you, this very hurried, once again, department from your crew, the rest of you all on this deck, the deck is not necessarily preparing for battle, but is certainly all ominously quiet. This was a jovial, hearty group but a day ago, and now everyone is solemn and quiet with the thoughts and notions that many of their friends, companions, perhaps even family are likely dead back at Port Crez. What are you all doing in these moments as the ship makes its way away from the maw?
Boko and Lucy are gonna head to the hold. And potato. And Boko will
dinner.
Yes, say to Roland. Boko will say to Roland, please go and fetch Clyde and Israel. We need them.
Why we need to peel some potatoes.
It's potato. Got it.
Damn.
Hey. Okay.
Don't you know you gotta lick her up when you peel potatoes?
And as they go to the hold, Boko is also going to keep an eye out for Shay. Because Shay might have input on the soul transference.
All right, Roland, you go to kind of gather Clyde and Iz, and Boko, you look around and to find where Shay is, and Shay is typically down in the holds, and you kind of look around down there, and you see Zolo, who was typically looking over the prisoners, who also spends a lot of time down there, but you don't see any sign of Shay.
He stay behind? Boko will ask Zolo. And he'll just walk up and say, Shay, where did he go?
The look on Zolo's face is very somber, and he just looks up, and you can see redness around the eyes. Shay wasn't interested in any of these politics. He stayed back in the port. Or they, rather.
Boko just sort of reaches a hand out to put it on Zola's shoulder, but doesn't say anything. There's nothing that Boko can say to console him, but also kind of has to process the weight in his own chest.
Indeed. Roland, you quickly return. Clyde is easy to find and is, even after a little bit, is able to be located too, and they're brought below as you come upon Boko in this somewhat somber state next to Zolo, and you see Jasira kind of hanging there as well. What are you guys going to attempt to do?
Fuck if I know.
Who's this?
Boko looks at Clyde and goes, "You wrote a song about him you do not recognize?"
He wrote a song about me?
Is it? I wrote a song about him?
Yeah.
He don't look that impressive. I think I remember that.
He is one of Barrymore's bastards.
Ah! Yeah, he must be one of the minor verses.
My god. We left Tove at Port Crez. Oh.
Guys, we had so much to say.
Why
No!
and so, like, does Jasira understand that shit happened? Because I know we kind of left mid-chaos, so I don't know if she actually got the news.
In this chaos, this...
Clyde looks at the... So where's Tove? Why'd you bring this person?
In all of this chaos, as this stuff starts to hit, as Clyde says this out loud, Jasira, you're already starting to ask these questions yourself, and you just see Boko's face go pale at the mention of her name.
Well, I think we're gonna have to incite that kind of reaction because she isn't really a talker herself.
You don't even need to roll. You feel the tension. You feel what's happening here. You know that Tove was back at Port Crez. You know that everyone has had these whispers of some sort of attack, of something going on there, of the city being potentially lost.
I think Jasira, not Tove, because Tove is not here. Tove is probably dead.
No. Tove's fine. You got 2 legs. She can run away.
Huh.
Theoretically.
Assuming it went as well as we were hoping. Maybe.
Assuming none of the side effects kicked in.
Side effects. Fire resistance.
Yeah, I think with that...
Be helpful. Water breathing.
I think with that facial expression, she will momentarily dismiss herself to one of the cells alone.
Henry's already in there tied to the ship. Hi!
She would knock him out in a second. Just shut up.
Alright.
Not the time.
I don't think Jasira is going to be ready for conversation. But I was curious. Either you two know what this thing is? Clyde's going to pull out his new shiny gem.
No, but I can find out.
I think we're going to need to.
Roland puts it in his mouth.
No!
It's a red gemstone. It's a little bit larger than $50 in circumference, I guess. And it fits kind of in. It fits in Clyde's palm, but it's a pretty hefty jewel. And Roland, are you casting Identify on it?
Yeah, I'll cast Identify ritualistically. Clyde hadn't given consent yet, so I don't touch things without other people.
Boko put it in his mouth.
I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, Roland, as you take a minute to sit with this, you can feel energy coursing off of it. It's dormant. The energy in it has been used, at least for now. And as it starts to speak to you, you start to pull out its usages from the object itself. It's a daily use. It recharges after a long rest, and the first saving throw that you fail that day, it causes you to succeed. and it's known as
Ooh.
a gem of second chances.
You get a free legendary resistance.
But it's not one that you can choose. It's just the first one that you fail.
The first one.
Mhm.
Wait, I mean, still.
It's Clyde can get drunker.
Oh my
don't
god.
stub your toe.
That's the way that I'm drinking every session.
That's incredible.
Just isn't much really. There's no, you don't really get to control who's to kind of sort of happens to you.
Yeah, but that's why I said that he can do himself at least once.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I still fine. I didn't bring back whatever the heck this dude is.
Did you? I didn't bring him back either. That was Boko. Did that.
Yeah. But did Roland bring Ace too?
Yes.
Yeah,
I assumed so.
Is surprisingly quiet throughout all
very-
this.
Oh, she is frozen over.
Yeah. Boko is going to ignore Roland for a second and look to Clyde and Iz and say, "Look, something is going on here. Someone has burned down the Port Cress, and now Tove is dead. Jasira is inconsolable, and we have questions that need answers. The Crimson Haze was the first to leave the meeting, and when we left, they were already aboard their ship, setting sail. We have one person. We have one person who may know something, and so I ask the two of you to assist me. We need to get answers from this person."
Oh, that's why you.
All right, we can do this. Let's just tie him up first, so you don't get no stupid ideas.
Yeah, he should be chained to the pole that we were once chained to.
All right. Once we chain him up to there, Clyde's gonna give him a little bit of the old moonshine. 2d4 stamina +2.
Yeah. Boko's gonna don his ritual regalia because it's a little bit more intimidating.
And of course, he's poisoned.
Yes.
Roland will just kind of hang out to the side, glaring at him, and pull out the dagger that he stabbed him with, and is just going to be twirling it between his hands.
When he wakes up, Clyde's gonna tell, "Well, it seems you've made a series of unfortunate decisions to lead yourself to here. So what you gotta say for yourself now here among your new friends, Potato?"
You know, friends, I'm goddamn what you kill Ezra.
Clyde would like to slap this man.
Ow!
You're behind Clyde. Clyde cannot see you twirling the daggers menacingly.
Oh no, I was gonna throw the dagger at him and hopefully miss.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Don't kill my prisoner.
We can keep bringing him back. It's fine.
Boko is going to let Clyde do all of the talking, but very menacingly, in this sort of deer skull that he's donned, he's going to walk over to this figure, stand directly, like uncomfortably close to them, and the vines on his leg are going to slowly unravel, wrap themselves around his neck, and pull his neck in so it sits against the blade that's embedded in his leg, and just sit there, just staring directly down at him.
You might well kill God.
No. Come on, Potato. We ain't gonna kill ya. We just want to talk, Boko. He's gonna be fine. Potato here is gonna answer our question.
He just kind of spits a glob of red goo up towards you, Clyde. Go ahead and make me a dex save.
Absolutely, and then Clyde's gonna kick him with a full smile on his face. Kick him right in the face.
Yeah, you just dodge out of the way and just kick him and just slam in, and one of his teeth just kind of chips off.
Ooh, hand that to Tiff.
You see here, Potato, I don't really quite like your whole crew, but think we could be friends, since you're gonna be staying with us for a while now. If we lost Tiff, Clyde's gonna break down now. We lost the Tooth Fairy. How can life go on?
What do you want?
Information.
Yes. Hold honestly among friends, Potato. This is a new start.
Why you call me Potato? You look more like
Because if
Potato.
Because
if you don't answer us,
and Clyde's going to smash his head on the ground. Because they're Potato now. You see?
And you can see that he's already starting to getting closer back to unconsciousness with all the beating.
Potato. See, if only he thought it'd be that easy. And Clyde would give him another. Just stuff a shot of the moonshine.
I think, doesn't that only work once? Or does it?
I get one every day.
Okay.
And I keep track of the days we do.
Nope.
Right now I have 5 left, so I have 4 left.
Gotcha.
Oh my gosh, he's so smashed.
I mean, he's already smashed.
No, he is smashed. He's gonna look like a potato when we're done.
I don't know. I have no information. If you want answers, you pick the wrong pirate.
That's telling the truth. That is certainly
You can make an insight check.
statement for your longevity.
Just check.
Goddamn, already dead. Just a matter of time.
Potato, you ain't been peeled or fried yet.
Yeah, but would you prefer to die or die longly?
My blood goes to the blood god regardless.
Your flesh
so
goes
you value
to the
your
stew
blood.
pot.
So you value your blood, do you? Well, we can drain that and make sure it never gets to your god.
Hold on, I don't think we should be teasing the guy with the blood god.
Absolutely, we should. Clyde's riding a high tonight. Nothing can go wrong.
Boko and Clyde, as you guys are both looking at him, he seems just wildly incoherent. Just between the alcohol and the beatings, there doesn't seem to be enough there of what was already probably a weakened intellect to weave any sort of duplicitous nature.
Boko to Clyde. I think he's correct. I think if we can...
Oh, you bring up a literal walking potato.
It was your choice.
Boko is going to just...
Boko, you have to clean up after him, take him for walks.
Jasira shows up.
And train him.
And Boko looks over at Jasira and makes sure that she can see everything he does. He looks down at this individual and says, "Can you go to your blood god if you do not have a soul?"
There is like a terrified look on his face as he looks super confused.
Yeah, Boko is not asking to intimidate, he's genuinely curious.
This individual has no idea. He's never considered this possibility.
Yeah.
I don't think God's gonna want no taint. It's soul. Potato won't even be worth that.
Just tell me what you want. I don't know anything.
Well, that's unfortunate because we want you to know something.
Yeah, Potato. Like, why?
Why?
Clyde does not know. Clyde, I want to be everyone know, does not know why we're interrogating Potato.
Yeah. Boko looks at Potato and just says, "The Crimson Haze. It knew something about the dragon ships before all of these happened. It knows something of the attack on Port Cress. Surely you must have heard or seen something."
I don't know much about the dragons. I don't know much about the attack. All I know is that there was some sort of map on the back of that pretty lady poster. and that.
Can you read it?
I didn't look at it. I didn't see it.
That isn't what I asked.
All I know is that Etienne was very interested in it.
Yes, I'm sure that Etienne had to turn to parchment for affections of the female nature. That we've established that we're off of that remark. So, something easier than for all the plans of the crew that you are obviously still around. Individuals. Glaive, task, sword, a terrifier. Tiefling. You know them, yes. You have seen them before.
Yeah, they're part of the crew. Part of the ship, part of the crew.
What happened?
I'm sorry, you're coming in real hazy. Can you speak clearer?
So careful here, cause I'm
yeah.
I'll make you look ugly.
Zero, crack your neck on you, please.
Jasira wants to do what?
I'm the nice one.
Yeah, it just starts to crush down. Yeah, sure. He's
Poor potato.
yeah, and he's not looking good at all.
Just start cracking more intimidatingly.
Okay.
No.
It worked.
Trying to keep the kid alive. For now. Yeah, no, she's just cracking her neck to Clyde saying I'm the nice one to insinuate that she is a very not nice one.
Look.
Like Dr. Mask and everything.
I'm trying to give you what you want. You ask about these people. What do you wouldn't know about them? They're just part of the crew. They're just part of the crew.
Okay. What are their names? If they're part of the crew, you must know their names.
Yeah. The red fiery one. Her name is Creda.
Bless you.
What?
Keep going.
The tiefling. His name is Rudy. Rudy the Red.
Rudy.
Clyde is writing these down because he is preparing so many verses to diss these people across the seas.
The pen's
Roland
on
is
fire.
writing them down because he has their faces now.
The big guy, his name is Algar.
With the great axe and the skulls around his neck, yes?
The heads, I guess, some of them are skulls now.
Okay, you're freshly dead to, 3 years dead, yeah?
Sure, I think.
Big guy. Creepy guy in the mask.
I heard somebody call him Caddis, but some other people will call him the Unseen.
That checks. And the glaive.
We just call him Bloodbane.
Bloodbane. Got it. Did that sound anything approaching any language that I understand?
Ooh, that's a good question. Stand
I'll post them for you.
No, I got him. I'm ready for this. Please.
I know, but I like posting them.
Like the clicky action.
Roland is the type of person that'll walk into the bar and be like, "What languages do you speak?"
Make me an intelligence
the
check.
guys on YouTube that like will give you $5 if you speak a language we don't understand.
Yeah, and make me an intelligence check.
Okay, here comes another nat one. You guys ready?
No, this is the 20. This is
You
the
got
20.
this.
It rolled off a
That's not
20.
That's not bad.
It's difficult within this because you can't figure out the actual word, but the guttural sounds, the things, they're starting to kind of drift into languages that you know or know of, in that sense, those types of languages like abyssal and infernal. You are familiar with infernal, but kind of know the ones that have similar types of sounds. You don't know what he's trying to say, but it's in that realm of something along the lines of abyssal or infernal, or
Does
draconic.
Clyde know what he's trying to say?
I just had to link mine because I have one language that Roland doesn't speak.
Abyssal. Okay, yeah.
For now.
Boko, if you want to roll me an intelligence check to see if you pick up on this as well, you can. Clyde, you have no idea what he's saying because he's not actually saying any words. He's just trying to repeat a word that he's heard and is mimicking some of the sounds, but not able to get the pronunciation. It's like a...
So he's saying mercy buck-ups.
More or less. More or less.
Arrivederci.
Yeah, and Boku, you can pick up hints of this like abyssal, infernal, draconic type sounds as well, but you're not sure exactly which one or exactly what the word that they're trying to say is. But he says we just called him Bloodbane.
Okay, so
That's
does
intimidating.
Bloodbane, like, if I translate that into Infernal, does it sound anything like what he was saying?
If I reverse translate it through Google, what do I end up with?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
I could, given enough time, I could tell you what that is, but no, it doesn't. I'm curious.
Bloodbane.
After Roland gets the information on the crew members, Boko will just say, "You said you don't know much of the dragon ships. Tell us what you do know."
They're ships that are really big.
Boko looks at Roland, and his eyes ask if Roland has any other questions, because he's just like,
Is there anything else that you think might be worth your life?
Potato, now is the time to tell us anything, because now's the only time you have to tell anything.
Listen, I don't have anything. Listen, all I
Stab him
know.
in the neck.
Wait. No, Clyde. Hey, he was gonna peel potatoes, damn it.
Roland, you're finishing him off?
Yeah, no, like, as soon as he goes, I don't have anything, just straight in with the dagger that I was twirling.
All right.
Boko is going to grab onto Roland's hand and is going to try to take this guy's soul.
Yes, do it.
All right, give me an intelligence check.
Refined Mark II.
Yeah, give me an intelligence check.
That's okay. That's okay.
Hey, if Baldur's Gate has told me anything, it's that DCs of 10 are average.
Is there any way for Jasira to assist?
In this moment, it's so fast. I'm gonna say no.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I wanted Jasira here to see the technique that I have, so she can assist me with my technique afterwards.
Cool.
So,
So this is like all part of the plan.
Yes.
So she's just gonna like heavily analyze all of this. Cool.
But yeah, as where did my weird.
And this is the canister that both Shay and Jasira helped me design, and it is made out of silver.
Yeah.
I don't know how to link something from my sheet.
So as you are kind of surging through, trying to pull this soul away, Boko, there is this moment where it is just this red, almost energy that surges around the blood as it's pulling out, as this life force of this individual is fading. And as you pull the soul, rather than a soul itself, it's the blood that begins to twist and shape into some form amorphous that gets absorbed into this capsule that you have. It seemed to work, though a bit more unusual in this series of unusual things.
So you said it grabs more of the red energy from the blood or the blood itself?
The blood itself.
Well, their hair ain't red because all the blood shit, is it?
Is his hair still red?
Yeah, the mohawk that he has, it is very much still red.
I don't think it's because of the blood shit.
Is he bleeding from the knife wound?
Not anymore.
The knife.
the holes are still there. Not anymore. All the blood seems to have it seeped into a small pool, but it's no longer coming out of the wound.
Is there blood on the knife?
Give me an investigation check.
Can I also do an investigation check, but on my arm instead?
Nope, there's the nat 20.
Damn.
There is less on the blade. Certainly less than was there. And you actually watch some of it kind of get absorbed from the blade itself into Boko's contraption.
Alright, so I thought we were just like interrogating the dude. What the hell was all that?
I had no more further use for him.
Yeah, Boko looks at Clyde and goes.
Further use for him.
Boko looks at Clyde and goes, "That was called science."
Science is freaky deaky.
Yes, so you have said multiple times.
As the shot has said as well.
Yes, true. An exact quote, I believe. Freaky deaky. Or is it steamy teamy?
No, that's something else.
I wouldn't know.
All right. But as you all are wrapping up this encounter with these individuals, there is a ringing of a bell, some sort of alarm that brings the crew to attention. And as you rush up, and we'll get to what everyone else has been doing when we come back next session. But as you rush up, you are on the seas and are moving down the waters, and the crew has kind of all gathered aboard and is all looking over in the back direction. And behind the Morrigan is a ship with large crimson sails.
Ugh.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna have to work on these lyrics so that over the wind I can demoralize the whole freaking crew.
Before
Boko's
we
gonna look at Roland and Jasira and go, "I believe it is time for round 2."
Before we get to an end, I'd like to give a bid goodbye to our two guest stars. So Tiber and Creda aboard separate ships, but both looking at the same daunting situation. You have gathered on your ships and gone out to try and flank the sea dragons. This group of small vessels sailing through the waters, and there are these large lurking shadows of these massive behemoth-like ships. And even in this moment where you think that you have a slight advantage. The ships are still placed and are perpendicular to the entry. And you are coming out the sides. And then suddenly the sky grows lighter as these balls of fire begin shooting up into the air from these ships down towards the fleet of pirate vessels. And with that, we will leave the fate of the other captains in the balance, and thank you both for joining us so much, and hopefully we'll have you both back at another time when we can see Creda and Tiber back in action. For now, I thank you all for joining us, as it is so good to be back, and we will see you next week.